I have been sending out emails. I sent you 2 emails to the council today, as well as the city manager. We spend a lot of time and effort in economic development here in our community, as well as our state and our country. And the governor has indicated that he's going to, maybe even by executive order, start a cap and tax on CO2 emissions, as well as a carbon tax. Raising taxes at this time is not a good idea as far as I'm concerned, and especially something like that that will have no recognizable long-term effect. CO2 is, right now it's 400 parts per million, which is 4 per 10,000. And let's say that I give you half of that is man-made, so that'd be 2 out of 10,000. That cannot possibly be the Earth's thermostat. So I'm concerned about that also. So far, the U.S. government spent over $200 billion to fight climate change, and what they're really talking about is global warming, and global warming is not caused by man. That seems to be a big argument in our country, and it's pretty well divided. And so what I'm saying is that we should be taking a look at this. And I don't know if we can take a political position on this or not, but I think that people ought to be made aware of the cost that this is going to be to the individual. And I'm concerned about our citizens and about our state's economy here if we have a tax for something that will produce no results at all. You wouldn't even be able to measure it, all the money that's going to be spent there for absolutely nothing. So I personally am going to take this on as a responsibility to fight the governor in this particular idea. There is also documentation out of the U.S. Senate. A club of billionaires and their foundations control the environmental movement in the president's EPA. I sent you that one. Also, the Columbian has run 2 articles on oysters dying because of CO2 and ocean acidification. But yet their studies go back as far as 2006. The EPA doesn't agree with them. It's viral and some other physical things that are affecting the oyster business. So the Columbian probably ought to get their act together and find out exactly what the cause is up there. And it's a political ploy by the governor in order to try to get through the cap and tax and the carbon tax. So I just want everybody to know that I will be informing you about this. I would like you to be informed on it. You don't have to believe the same way I do, but I think we should have a public discussion on this. And I would be more than happy to lead a team. If the Columbian wants to come in on this, that's fine. CREDC, I don't care who it is. Sierra Club, we'll even do that. Let's have a good old-fashioned debate and get it out in the public and let everybody discuss it. We had almost an all-night session talking about the oil terminal. I think we could spend an evening or an afternoon or a day discussing this particular subject. It's very important to the entire world. I mean, the IPCC is involved in this, governments are involved in it, you've got special interest groups involved in it, and I think we ought to all take a good look, slow down, talk it over, and see what exactly is the climate science that is being so bitterly, in many cases, disputed. So I would hope that I could get you behind me, the council behind me, to at least have a public discussion where we can sit down and rationally discuss the subject and hear from opposing sides. So I'm going to work on that effort, and I would certainly appreciate any support that you could give me on this. Thank you.
I think probably the nexus for the council here is what if the governor is proposing some changes in state law, how are they going to affect us here at the city and the residents of our community? So I suppose that's something that we'll sic Mark Brown on, or that he can be following along.
And I talked to Mike Bomar this morning, the Finance Committee for CREDC, and afterwards, and we talked about that. Apparently the Association of Washington Business is discussing this also. But the thing that really bothers me is that they're saying the clients is settled. No, it has never been settled. And in our state, what happened was Governor Gregoire made an executive order out of this, and then the legislature picked it up and made a bunch of rules. One of the rules they made was that we have to have Clark Public Utilities has to sell green lights. In other words, RECs, renewable energy certificates, $1.50 a ton. Our area over here, Clark Public Utilities, has sent over $1 million across the river to the Bonneville Environmental Foundation. And that happens to be, the president happens to be Angus Duncan. Angus Duncan is also the co-chair of the Oregon Global Warming Commission. Oregon Global Warming Commission. And they recommend that people buy RECs. That's a conflict of interest as far as I'm concerned. So we shouldn't be shipping our money over to Oregon. That's one thing that really bothers me. So I think there's a lot of things that we could discuss on this, and whoever wants to take me on the Sierra Club, I'd love to do that too. The big money is not on the side of those people who are the skeptics. It's on the other side. And you read these documents, and I'd also like to draw your attention to another one. It's called The Green Corruption, and a blog. And there's a gal who's been doing this for about 3 or 4 years, and she's uncovered all these connections and the money, a tremendous amount of money that's going on this. And the person who is really losing it is middle America. We are really being hurt. Our middle class is being wiped out. More people are at the bottom of the economic scale, and then you got the real rich people at the top, and we're squeezing the middle class. And the middle class has been what's been our economic driver in this country. So I think this is a very serious subject, and I really think that we ought to have some kind of a public discussion. And I want to thank you all for taking the time there, and serious matter, serious discussion.
Thank you. City Manager, would you mind, as the governor's office is considering new legislation, keep us posted on what it means for us?